Welcome back to Area of Effect Prepping. As you read in the title of the video here, this is going to be my bug out bag. Now this is version 1.0 because I'm going to start from scratch and say that this is the first version I've created on this channel at least. There have been others that I've completed in the past. However, this is going to be a fresh one. Now, the bag that you see in front of you here is one I use, which is a 3-day assault pack. This is U.S. Army issue. I could not tell you what years it was, but it is well, the Digicam I would prefer something different, but for right now it works. Now, what you notice here is that I do have 2 of the 200 round packages on the side. Okay, one on either one, or pouches. I have one of those, as well as here, which this one is a improved first aid kit pouch. And then you'll see a couple others that I've added in here. Now, this is just the bag itself. I do have other items that I do plan on having on if I'm having to wear this, but this is prepping with a budget. You know, it's going to take me a little bit of time to get there. Eventually, though, I will. Let's go ahead and remove this bag here. Now, the only thing I do want to point out, though, before I do so, is that if you notice right over here, you can see them kind of shine in a little bit, is a couple of tent stakes. Now, I do need to get a couple more of them, but for right now, that's what I have. I want to get a couple more, and you will see why once I get into this pouch here. But let's go ahead and remove this pack off of here and show you what I got. All right, so now that that bag has been removed here, I didn't give you a cut. 3, 2. All right, so now that that bag is removed, you can see a lot of different items here. A couple of them kind of got shifted around while I was moving that bag, but most of them should still be in their original places. Now, one thing I do want to point out with this is still a work in progress, okay? There's still some other items that I want to pick up for this that I'm still trying to locate what I want, and then obviously this is prepping on a budget, so it does take a bit of time for me to get it. I wish I was a bigger channel that, you know, I had a little bit more money and such to do that with, but I'm not quite there yet, professionally or in my regular life. Give it a little bit of time, though, and I'm hoping to see that. So let's go ahead and get into this, and I'm going to go from left to right. So number 1 there, you can see a flop hat. A little bit darker of a color, but still that multicam. Again, I'd rather a different one, but it's what I got to work with. Next bag here, this is going to be a hand chainsaw. So a couple of handles and nice little chainsaw blade. Personally, I'd like to get something different that allows me to reach up a little bit higher, but we'll get there. I know with this, though, I can also use some cordage to extend those lengths. That way I can get it up and around a higher branch to get there. Next up, I have a variety of glow sticks here. The only thing I do make sure of, though, is that at least I do have a couple of red ones that are in there, kind of as a little bit better for night vision. Obviously with a red light, but it's there. Next up here, you'll notice a nice little leather pouch here. This is a auger tool, so it is a 1-inch auger tool. Figure this will help out in just crafting and such like that. It's got an auger on one end, and then this is actually fairly sharp here. So if you take a stick, put that over top of it, nice wide area here. Next up on here is going to be this Bushmaster Firearms kind of field cleaning kit here that I had picked up some years ago. I thought it was a very smart idea. So you different plugs, handle, simple cleaning brush, you know, such like that to go through, as well as then it also has the cable back here, some different picks, brushes, as well as the different types of lubricants and cleaning systems for that. Obviously, kind of a big deal, especially when you're out there. You want to make sure that those weapon systems are staying clean, especially when you're going through dirt, grime, mud. God knows what you're out there messing with, but always best to keep that clean. Now, these next two here kind of go side by side with each other. This is a U.S. military 2-quart canteen with its cover. Next item here is going to be a U.S. military 2-quart canteen. Now, the canteen also does go with the next pouch here. This has a lot of water items in it. So, Silcott key for urban to obviously try to get some water out of the different buildings and such like that if you need to. Obviously, don't be doing that without permission. Now I'm trying to get this thing out here. There we go. There's nothing left in the pouch for right now because it's all kind of contained in here. Now, this is a back flush filter and a straw for a Sawyer water filter. So make sure, just stick that right onto there. Then you can pop the cap off, get that done. That'll take care of a lot of the water. Now, my thought theory here is that if I take this, I fill this with water, then I can squeeze it into the 2-quart canteen, and that's where I have my clean water. I also was looking at some other thought theories towards that. Not really sure what I want to do, but it's there. So, and again, prepping on a budget, so kind of working on that one. Okay, now I'm going to skip over this one because this is going to be something that I'm going to come back to because there's going to be a lot in that one. So we're just going to come down and sweep back over. Now this is another one of this is a 100-round kit. Now I discovered that this is meant for the 20-round version of these to go into here. 5 of those fits nicely, but the way that I was looking at this one was, okay, if I need to put something additional on the outside of my bag, great, I have another pouch. If not, hey, I can always, loop my belt into this here, and I have another belt pouch. Not my goal. You all hopefully will follow along with me on this journey, and you'll see the end result. Next bag here, open this one up. This is some fire. So I have here this is cotton lint. So when I specifically was going through laundry, I cleaned out the dryer prior to it and collected that one up. These are kind of some waxy pieces that you can cut up, kind of fray them out a little bit, get those burning. Magnesium block with striker, as well as a good old ferrocerium rod. So nice, easy, simple. I do want to get some other lighters in here, some Bic lighters, possibly 1 or 2 other things for that. Now, one item that I actually had out here that I'm going to include into that 50-50, I'm still debating, is this here. A lot of people might recognize this from their childhood because, this is what your emergency whistle and all is, which obviously, yes, there is an emergency whistle. It's also a compass here. It gives you at least a basic bearing. Right now it is actually pointing it north right now. But on the inside of that, there is a mirror on the inside, as well as some matches. Now, these ones I plan on swapping out for the stormproof matches. Given a little bit of time, I do have some of those coming in, and we'll get to that. But I think for now, that's going to go in there. This one apparently also has a little ferrocerium rod here. I'm not too worried about using that one though, with having that bigger one in there. So there's my fire kit. I do have a couple pair of zip cuffs, not necessarily to use them to restrain people, although if need be, I'd rather not have to. But it's there also as just basic zip ties. Zip tie a couple things together. Hey, great, there you go. Got it. No big deal. Now, these are 9mm 33-round magazines. Okay. These have 2 different weapons that I have that use these ones. One, and that's kind of where one of my debate comes in, is do I take one of them? So that way these are only for that, or do I take both of them? Because one of them is a carbine style. And then do I bring these with it? Because now I can use them for both. Now, these are just 3 of them. I actually have 6 in total. But for right now, I only brought 3 out. Again, I'm still building this bag. Bear with me. Now, I do have these ones loaded up with green tip 5.56, all 5 of them here. 2 of them have the loops. These are the main ones that I'm going to be putting on into the... I plan on getting a whole rig set up for myself. Again, trying to find one that I like that's comfortable, go with it from there. The other 3 are going to stay in the bag. Again, those will come out as needed. I also have one of these doubling wrenches. So other kind of accesses that you can get into. Came with the Silcock key, I have to admit. That's something I'd want to do a little bit more research on what exactly these are used for. But the way it sounded like is that it was partially a kit, so I'm sure there's a good reasoning for that. All right, so now in this camo bag here, this has a lot of different items into it here. It is 2 different sides, two different compartments to this one. So over here, I do have a few different items. I have a couple of, knife and spoon set. I was thinking about switching those ones out for for a couple titanium ones. I do have a knife sharpener, one of them. I carry 2 with me. This is just a diamond file, so this is more for finer, to my knowledge, as well as a monocle. Now this one I've had for many, 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 many years. Okay. I don't remember even a brand on it. Let's see here. Tesco. This is a Tesco. So 10 by 25. Not a bad little monocle. Works out really nicely if you're just trying to get a glimpse on something down the road or what have you. Maybe I take it out bird watching. You never know. Tuck that in there. Now this side here, grab a hold of everything here. So number 1, dropping a tool. This is just a regular pocket knife that I had picked up. This is a U.S. Navy, I believe. I found out this was out of the 60s. 1 knife blade, an awl, and then your typical can opener, bottle opener, flathead combo. Nice little tool, just in case. Again, 2 is 1, 1 is none. And then some wonderful, amazing lockpicks. Now, I do need to get a new tension bar. I'm not sure whatever happened to mine. Now, mind you, this bag, I try not to leave with it, or if I do, I take those out. Because those, technically, in the eyes of the law, are seen as thieves' tools, as I am not a licensed locksmith. So every one of those could potentially carry a prison sentence. I'd rather not. Let's go ahead and continue down the road here. All right, now I'm still working on my animal tracking as far as to figuring out what everything is, but this is a nice little pocket guide that I had here that it'll, goes over a pretty wide variety of everything of what is out there, what size they are, how far the feet are apart, or how big the marks are going to be. So just some different things, especially when you're trying to figure out what's in your area. You have that there. So, just some nice little reference. Nice little waterproof thing too. That's the nice part. This is waterproof. Continuing on here, I do have a Right in the Rain all-weather universal notebook, so nice and simple there. You can see me, I was trying to test out pens. But nice little booklet. I do have 2 emergency ponchos. One is a little bit heavier than the other, but hey, that's all right. For right now, they're doing the job. Right down here, I also have the actual stone. So it's the knife sharpening stone. I got this back when I went from Cub Scouts to Boy Scouts. Okay, if that tells you anything, it was a long, long time ago. This is just a belt dump pouch. So if I wanted to go out, do some gathering, whatever have you, I have that just nice and easy to put on the belt. Again, nice little add-on tool. Have that. Now I have a wallet. Why do I have a wallet? Well, this particular wallet has a signaling mirror. Nice, big, bright signaling mirror. It doesn't have anything else in it right now. I just use it to protect this mirror. Okay. Or, if I really want to and I'm out and about, well, here's my fake wallet. What are they going to find? Look back at themselves. That was really foolish of me, but you know what? Hey, it was kind of funny to me. Last little part here before we get into this big case. see here a yo-yo fisher is what they were titled. One of the best things I think I have found for, especially in situations, because you could just take that line out and you can even unwrap it a little bit if you don't want a lot of tension on the spring. And you want to toss that line out with whatever on the other end. Obviously, there's a swivel. Nice thing, catch a fish. And it's going to trigger that to pull out. You notice the little notches here. Set it, just kind of keep that up into it. Let it spin. Oh, there we go. And then it'll close in on that little part there. And just lets it go. So you can just tie it up. It does have a nice little loop here. Tie it to a tree. Good to rock and roll. I also keep a thing of braided line. There are several different techniques that I've seen of trying to fish or make snares, which of course I do have some snare wire here. Do different things, as well as my own little mini fishing kit. There's fishing equipment all over the place. You know, if it is an actual, oh my gosh, this is the day of, or this is the end of days, you're going to be able to find fishing equipment just about anywhere. Okay, most people might think to take some of it, but there's going to be so much of it left around. I'm not overly worried. I even have plenty of it here. So if I know that this is going to really be the end of it, I assure you I have more plans than this. But let's go ahead and get all this stuff off the table and open up my last pouch. And I'm willing to bet most of you can guess what's in there. All right, folks. So we're going to get down here to the last part of this bag. Now, this is typically mounted on the bottom of the bag, and it's usually latched in pretty tight. So let's go ahead and perform a little bit of magic and get it all set here. All right. And there we go. Now, if nobody could tell, this is going to be, for the most part, my shelter. The rule that I always hear is something to lay on, something to lay in, and something to lay under. Now, for my sleep on, I decided, you know what, I'm going to go with a hammock, because typically if I'm going to be out like this, I'm going to want to be in tree cover. So I have here just a very simple one-person hammock. Why not? Something to sleep in. I do have an emergency bivvy. Now, obviously, this is not a permanent solution. This is just a temporary solution. But my goal overall is that once this bag is fulfilled, now I know there's a lot of things still left to go, and we'll discuss that here shortly. But for right now, that's where I have myself at, because we are about ready to get into the spring and summer. So I'm not as worried about the hyper cold weather. Now, something to sleep under. I do have, for right now, a contractor bag that I know how to cut open to fit the size that I need. And then using my, from the Rapid Deploy Ridgeline video, I have here a set of 4 that I can tie around and get to every corner of that contractor's bag, as well as the Rapid Deploy Ridgeline, to put that over top of me and keep that nice and tame. The last part that's in here is a thing of what they call a survivor cord. This is different than your 550 cord. It looks similar, but inside of this, there is a whole 100 feet of bank line. There is 100 feet of tinder. And I want to say there's 100 feet of wire in there, really thin but flexible snare wire. So this is just a very much utility tool. I know in a previous video I had discussed that I don't really like keeping a full 100 feet. This is the exception to my rule on that, because there is so much more in this. This gets me a shelter. This gives me something to work on to improve my situation. Okay, so for right now, that's where I have this. I am working on some improvements of that, but we'll talk about that here shortly. Let me go ahead and get this all back together, and we'll show you the final product. All right, so now that I have the bag all put back together, you can see here there's still quite a bit of room left in here. There's not a lot in the top or here. These are all pretty tight and strapped down to their maximum. A lot of the things I need to start looking at, number one, I would like to get myself a plate carrier. I think that'll be one of the utmost tools. to be utilized in safety. Not to mention then if that's being paired up with a chest rig on top of that, well, now it just solves where I store my ammunition and such like that. I do have some other setups in mind that we'll get there in time, but for right now, here's what I got. I also want to pick up one of the tarps that have the Mylar on one side, and I'm debating on either a green, like a camouflage green, or an orange. The other thing I'm trying to look at here is some other options for water purification. Again, takes time. We'll see what happens. But for right now, this is what I have. I'm happy with it. Plus, with it being just me, myself, and I think it's a lot easier for me to get what I want to get and get out of Dodge than it would be for most other people, because I don't have to worry about other people. I have to worry about my dogs, which just means grabbing their food, their bowls, and their leashes. That's about it. A lot of the other stuff I can take care of while I'm out there, plus they're pretty smart dogs. If you have any questions or suggestions, which I'm always welcome to in the comments, please feel free to make mention to me of what your thoughts are and your suggestions. They are always considered and always appreciated. Hope everybody has a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.